Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I am here at West Florida High School, formerly Woodham High School. Wes Summerford, the head coach, is who I'm interviewing today. We'll get into a lot of stuff, but is it no longer West Florida Tech?
So it's West Florida High School of Advanced Technology, and I think the short term is people called it West Florida Tech. I think that's still appropriate today. It's still West Florida Tech, so you'd be right saying that. I think that's just an abbreviated name for it.
Okay, because I didn't know. What I don't want to do, because like if there are certain schools, if you call them by the wrong thing, you get in trouble.
No, I think that's still okay.
Okay,
I think that's still okay.
I'm here at West Florida High School, West Florida Tech, with Coach Wes Summerford. You're off to a 3-1 start.
Right.
You told me on the walk up you could have been 4-0.
Yeah.
Nip and tuck with Washington in one.
Yeah. Just started off too slow against some guys, and tried to catch them in the end. Just didn't have enough at the end of the game to catch them. Had our opportunities though.
Right. So I think that by any metric, though, you had this school had 3 wins last year.
Right.
And you're already on 3 now, so things are moving in the direction you want them in.
Right.
You got a big game coming up this week.
That's right.
I don't know. I probably won't air this the week of the Tate game, but that is what's coming up, and there'll be some stuff we talk about later for something else about that. But I want to go through with you. Talk about your family a little bit. I want to talk about your path to being a football coach.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because you have had jobs outside of sports.
Right.
Also, you played at a high level with baseball. You're a two-sport guy, and I think that's interesting. I think pitching translate interestingly to coaching.
Yeah.
And I think
me too.
I think that might be something we could get into. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of West Florida, the history of Woodham High School, which it's one and the same in many ways, and then also a little bit about this specific ball club and what's special about it. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Let's
All
get
right,
after
man. We're going to do that and more after this. Okay, now
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, the podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Welcome back. Obviously, rich tradition in your family.
Hey, it happens. Believe me, we both get it. We talk about it all the time.
I'm so sorry. Okay, Wes Summerford, coach, West Florida. Rich history here.
Yeah.
But your family has a rich history in coaching and teaching, correct?
Correct. Yeah. My mom's the teacher of the group. Taught at Tate, Pine Forest High School. There's some other schools in there that she taught in the middle. She's going to kill me for forgetting those.
Right.
But taught at Pine Forest probably the majority of her year, but started out at Tate. I think Pine Forest was brand new, and she went over to Pine Forest when it was brand new. And then Dad, of course, was a teacher, an administrator, a dean. He started out at Tate, went to Woodham, and then some middle schools as well, just to finish up his career. And really the whole family, and then my brother and me. But really I have aunts and uncles and grandmas that all were teachers. I think there's probably about 7 or 8 of them in our entire family, just a family of educators. So
Right, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to talk about in a moment. That's going to be a through line through this whole interview. Is coaching is teaching.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you didn't say a family of coaches. You said family of teachers.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's the same fundamentals, teaching and coaching. How you reach young people, I think, is largely based off the same fundamentals. Whether you're in a classroom or you're out there coaching in a sport, you really got to have in your heart that you're supporting those young people first and foremost. And I think that's what makes a good teacher or a good coach. I think those things are in common.
Now, when you played 2 sports at Tate,
right?
You played for Blackman,
right?
Greg Blackman,
yeah.
AD. I think he's assistant principal, maybe.
AD and assistant principal, yeah.
Right, fantastic baseball coach. How did he affect you as a coach, as a player and a coach?
Yeah, I think it's just the system that he runs. Runs a really good program, and we all know, probably everybody knows that the discipline and I think it's the same thing with Nick Saban. Everybody says Saban is standard, but I think it's the same thing as how you translate being disciplined into wins. And I think that was a big thing that I took with me from Coach Blackman. when he coached me, just seeing how, hey, we're going to do it this way, and it was his way, and he's going to hold you to a standard, and that turning into a really, really, really successful programs. I think they had something like 5 or 6 trips to the state championship. I think he won it like 4 times, I think, something like that. But I got to see firsthand, even as a kid in high school, how discipline within the program is really, really important and can lead to a winning atmosphere.
Right. Did he do that whole, what was it? What was the saying that, I had the same coach he had. We were at Tate at the same time, but
Yeah.
I was JV when he was varsity, but there was, of course, overlap there. But what was it? Putman used to say, there's a right way, there's a wrong way, there's the exact way.
Yeah.
We're going to do things the exact way.
Right. Yes, yes. And if he didn't say that, I promise you that's how the program went. Was
Right,
that way.
correct.
So.
But also, I noticed watching you practice, I noticed watching your brothers practice, that there's not a lot of there's no wasted motion. There's no waste. Everybody's doing something, then we're getting water, and then everybody is doing something, and everybody knows where they're supposed to be, so it's not people figuring out nothing. You cannot waste time.
Right, yeah, man, you got to be efficient. You can't keep them kids out there forever. They won't be fresh on Friday if you do that. And so what we try to is not have a lot of standing around. That's one of my pet peeves is standing around. So we try to get everybody involved no matter what, and everybody's got a job to do. By week 2 of the season, we're a well-oiled machine with the coaches. Everybody knows where to go when we blow whistles and things like that.
Right.
And then just hustle. Those little details that help you win football games is hustling, know where you're supposed to be, make sure we're doing it the right way, and stay busy.
Right. Okay. Now I haven't talked to any. I've done a bunch of pods with baseball players for a different thing that I do. I haven't spoken to anyone that was a pitcher and a football coach.
Yeah.
And so I want to dive into that a little bit because to me it makes like a catcher. Everybody says catchers are good coaches, and I believe that very much so.
Right.
But what you're doing as a pitcher is it's individual battles.
Right.
I need to make him look for this end, go there away. Does that help you think in the coaching realm?
I think it does. You got to think how somebody else is thinking, and that's the way you attack them. So exactly. I mean, as a coach, as a football coach, you're trying to predict what they're going to do on the other side of the ball. And as a pitcher, you're kind of saying, what is that hitter thinking? And where can I put this ball so he's not going to absolutely crush it? Or how can I strike this guy out when I'm ahead of him? And you think about situations and how people are going to react. I think it's exactly the same in football coaching. Is you're trying to think of what are they going to do when I do this, and so that's probably something I learned about through pitching.
Well, in a scouting report, right? You look and you go, okay, this guy he's a leadoff hitter. He's going to want the ball away. He's going to try to make me throw strike. This guy, he's cleanup hitter. Anything in, I'm in a danger zone, right? And so you start trying to make him, maybe I do go in, but I go in right under his chin or. They don't pitch that way anymore, but
yeah.
And then I go away later, And so I think when going through scouting reports and coming up with initial game plans for 9 different people is very much what you do when you're looking at film.
Yeah, you got to be meticulous,
right?
And you got to pay attention to those little details. And it's the same thing in coaching football,
right?
You can watch that film one time and nothing sticks out. If you watch it 9 or 10, those little details start sticking out and you start finding new things. And I think that's important. So.
Right. And with, too, like you watching film, you go, okay, well, no, they want to get the ball to number 9.
Yep.
All this dressing is a way to get the ball to number 9.
Yeah.
Let's figure that out, right?
Yeah, you got to get through all that stuff to see what they're really trying to do. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, okay, so you go to PSC and play, and then you wind up at Calhoun and play.
Right.
And how did those experiences influence you with coaching and all that?
Yeah, man, PSC
baseball, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
What position did you play in football? I didn't even ask.
I played safety.
Okay.
and corner if we were playing a hard corner because I wasn't the fastest.
Right.
So if we're letting our safeties come down and be part of the box that week, I played safety. It was a week that we were going to sit our corners. I played corner, so I wasn't always the deep cover guy.
But again, that's game plan. That's
it's game plan.
That's
it's game plan.
Guessing what's coming next.
Right.
Very good for coaching. Now, how did Bill Hamilton and Doug Martin?
Yes,
were
sir.
the two top guys in there?
Those were two guys. Bill Hamilton was head coach. Doug Martin was my pitching coach.
Okay, Doug's fantastic coach.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and he was a left-handed pitcher too. I think he understood me better than anybody else.
There you go, right?
Yeah, he did a great job. Yeah, man, PSC I faced a lot of adversity at PSC. Went through just a year of not being able to throw strikes and had to battle through that, and learned that there is, when you think you're the best, that's the best time you get humbled, right?
Right.
So that was a part of my life that, hey, man, there's some great baseball out there. And, back then PSC had just came off of playing winning a state championship, going to the World Series. I was the next year in. And, man, what a tough conference they were in. They still are in, and it was a really tough conference. Played some really good players, but got to play along some draftees, some guys that went on and played in the pros and things like that. So it always taught me, hey, be humble. That was the first time, I think.
Right.
It was like, be humble, be humble, be humble. And then went off to Decatur, Alabama, Calhoun Community College. And I was in a good relationship. I had talked out of high school with a guy from Jeff Davis. Well, the Jeff Davis coach from up in Bruton moved to Decatur.
Okay, what's his name?
Jim Morris, Coach Morris, yeah. And so I followed him. He got me out of PSC, and I went up there. It turned out my grandmother lived in Decatur, and our family's kind of up from that area, or my dad's side.
Right.
And so it was a way for me to return to old roots. And so I went up in Decatur and played baseball in North Alabama.
Right.
Whole different scenario than Florida. I mean,
right.
It is out there. You're out in the country and things like that. And it was the first time that I had been away from home, living on my own, living in an apartment. And so to me, that was the biggest takeaway from Calhoun is how do I survive on my own, I remember I was there probably 2 weeks homesick as a dog and drove back. I think I drove back all summer, like every weekend, and it's a 5-hour drive.
Right.
But I was so homesick. But I think August came, got some friends up there with me, and I was able to sustain that. But I learned, man, I really do miss my parents, miss my brother, miss my family when I was away. So, but I learned that. That was the thing I took away from Calhoun is how to be a man and be on my own and do the right things even though nobody's watching. So I learned that up there.
Well, being in a small community, too, it's weird how things work out. You wind up at Northview later on.
Yeah.
That's a small community, right?
Yes, very small community, yeah. And matter of fact, those two places were really, really similar.
Right.
So, really similar.
Right,
But,
of course. Okay, so now we're going to transfer into a little bit, because I don't think you start coaching right away, right?
Right, yeah. Don't start coaching right away. I come home and I did some schooling stuff and things like that, and trying to find my way, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I wasn't a big school guy. I did okay in school, but I wasn't a big school guy. Like I didn't want to go for 8 years, even though that's what I ended up doing.
Right.
So and then I went to Savannah, Georgia, moved there for about 2 or 3 years, and I think the next call I got was from my brother to be a defense coordinator here at West, or be an outside linebacker coach here at West Florida under Coach Harry Lees, because Coach Harry got Rhett to be the defense coordinator. And I thought it was a great opportunity, to be with my brother, be into coaching. And I really knew that I wanted to get back into athletics. I was kind of away from athletics at that time. Just didn't know what road would get me back into it.
Right.
And so when Rhett called, I think it was the shoe fits, I'm going.
Right.
So.
Now, did you coach and do the restaurant work at the same time?
I did.
Okay.
So when I came back to Pensacola, I think I was working at Beef O'Brady's first, but really the main part was Sonny's. And so I was working at Sonny's, and I was coaching football and baseball at West Florida High School.
Right. It's okay. Quirk of life. I worked as a waiter at a Sonny's. I was at a Smokey's barbecue for a little bit in the kitchen there. It's my first job, so we kind of have a weird overlay there.
Yeah.
And I don't think I talk about this much on the show, but in the real world, I'm a restaurant manager by trade, and I feel like waiting tables is this great job for people to learn about themselves, learn about others, learn how to compartmentalize. You have 5 different groups of people you're trying to
Right.
make happy at the same time, and then there's this teamwork aspect to working in restaurants.
Right.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Another thing, okay, it's funny because when I spoke to your brother, also I did an interview with his brother yesterday, Rhett, and he mentioned that you're good at delegating, which is something he admires about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like a restaurant environment, you have to realize you cannot be worried about what everybody else is doing.
Right.
They have to do their job.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a little funny tidbit about it, like because you're talking about serving, and I was a server and I learned that because at first I'm trying to get all my drinks, trying to get all my food, trying to bust tables, all that at once, and you learn quickly you can't do that on your own.
Right.
Because it's going to affect your money, literally.
Yeah.
It's going to affect your tips. It's going to affect everything else.
Right.
So, like you have to learn. Hey, I gotta let people help me, and at Sundays we're in rows, and so you let people in your row. That's your row buddy.
Your row buddy.
You're helping each other out. You're helping each other out.
Yeah.
You don't help them, they gonna help you though.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's probably a good lesson that I learned there.
Yeah.
Is to be that, and then even servants paying attention to details because every little element that you just named dictates what somebody's gonna tip you.
Right.
Right. You give them cold coffee, there goes $2.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, also it's funny too because when you talk about teamwork, you probably know what pre-bussing is.
Yes.
And when you work at a barbecue place where you have things where they're doing multiple orders of ribs at a table, right? That kind of thing. All you can eat house.
Yeah.
If you don't pull those plates off, it gets looking crazy and people
it
get
does.
frustrated with you. So you do wind up literally helping each other wait on each other's tables. And so it's you get to keep your tips, I keep mine.
Right.
But for this to work, we have to work together. Along with, of course, in a kitchen environment, which you did work in as well.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own job to do, and you can't be too worried. There's one guy's job is to make sure everybody's doing their thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of coaching.
Right.
And then everybody else is playing a position.
Yeah, that's right. No,
Right.
that's exactly right.
Right.
Everybody's got to do their job, but at the end of the day, you got to work as a team.
Now you wind up at West Florida. You said your brother calls you, says, "Hey, why don't you come coach linebacker?"
Outside linebackers, yeah.
Right. And he was he the DC at that point?
So this was his first defense coordinator opportunity.
Harry Lees?
Under Harry Lees at West Florida. Started there. So we came in, I think Harry's first year was the year before this. They went 1-9, and then he brought in my brother and had some other guys new come in, I think on both sides of the ball, truthfully. And we turned a 1-9 program. I think we at least went 9-1.
Nice.
I know it was 9-1. I don't know if it was what happened beyond that, but I know it was a complete turnaround.
Right.
And just a great staff. I think there's a picture floating around, and I may misquote this, but I think there's 7 head coaches off of that staff, 7 guys that became head coaches. I think there's 6 that are active now. There's 6 head coaches active now. There's an assistant principal off of that staff. There's a longtime Charlie Armstrong, who was my defensive back coach.
Right.
Came here to coach O-line with us. Just some key figures on that coaching staff, and can't say enough about them.
Right. And so at some point, Rhett gets the head coaching job, and he said his first call was to you to be the DC.
Yeah. So there were some years in there. I think I did like 3 years here at West Florida, and then I went to Tate to get a teaching job. Just happened. West Florida's a great school. Everybody wants to teach here, and there was no openings, and so I got out of the food business, and I graduated, and I was able to get a teaching job at Tate, and so I left and went to Tate for 2 years. And then Rhett gets the head job. Not a question in my mind. I was like, I'm coming back, no doubt. Because his first head coach job, wanted to support him in every way. And so then I come back, and I'm the defense coordinator under my brother.
And you have a lot of success.
Yeah, we do. We had a great year, had a lot of great players, but we did a great job coaching too. I think we made it to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And that may have been the first year I was here. I think it was. I think it was the first year I was back.
What do you teach?
I was teaching exceptional student education, so ESE services here at West Florida. I was actually the department chair back then. So now I'm doing PE, but back then I was doing ESE.
Right. Which is that's an attention to detail.
Yeah,
well.
Especially here at West Florida. Every other high school I think has a department which is about 12 to 14 people dedicated to that, and here, when you're the ESC person, you are
the
person.
singular
Yes,
ESC
yes. You got some help, but yeah, it's a whole department on your shoulders, and so you got to be detail oriented.
What did your mom teach?
Mom taught English. She taught English, and then later in her career, I think they got her into some construction trades program there at Pine Forest. I think that was one of the beginnings of kind of this shift towards teaching people about jobs instead of making everybody go to college. So
Right, which is important as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then Northview comes calling.
yeah. Northview.
What got you out there?
Well, there was a couple things, man. I always had an aspiration to be a head coach. I didn't know if it ever happened. You know, at that point, I'm just like, man, we got a great thing, and we did. I mean, it was awesome atmosphere here at West Florida. Really didn't think about everything about leaving or anything like that. Northview comes open. You know, talked it over with my wife Ryan about, you know, being a head coach, something that I had thought about, but just didn't know if it was going to happen. And Northview comes calling. I knew that they had success. I remembered a couple years before that we had played them at West Florida. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, we wanted no part of them because it was just a different brand of football. I remember that being a coach at West Florida. And I knew that it had been successful. I thought that they had the tools. And I knew the communities around there. I don't think I knew it how I found out about it, but I did know about them. You know, the Century community, the Atmore community, the Walnut Hill community. And so I thought it'd be a special place. I thought it was on a smaller scale. I said, man, that's kind of probably a good idea to start my head coaching career and really get into football and see if that's what I want to do. Right. So that's what I did. I went to Northview.
Right. Now tell me this, how did I have to imagine that a smaller school like that, your responsibilities are different than they are here? They are.
And that's why it was the best. I think I would recommend anybody that asks me that level of football is the best way to get into coaching because it's a smaller school. Every single element of the football program, the head coach touches everything. You've got to be involved in everything. And it doesn't have as many resources because you're in a small town. Like you don't. I mean, Northview, you think about the businesses, where are the businesses? Well, there's only like 4 in Century, and then everything else is in Atmore, which is across state lines. And it's kind of a unique thing. You got to figure out how to get those people to support you. Right. And so I think that everything that you do at a big school is tenfold at a small school. You've got to work that much harder and make sure those resources are there. And coaches, you know, getting coaches to drive an hour and a half to coach with you, that's a whole different dynamic of itself. Right. And so those challenges there to me are tenfold what they are at a big school. Right. And you gotta find out how to.
And you go to a state title game.
Yeah. I was lucky enough, fortunate enough. I always say this: I had great players and great coaches. Jamarcus Jefferson was one of the big time leaders.
I'm the PA guy for Lighthouse.
Okay. Yes. So you call his name all the time?
Yeah. They need to get him the ball as much as possible. I mean, he's a fantastic player.
Yes. Oh, man. He is. He is. Right out of Century.
Right
out of Century, man. He's a special guy. I'm proud of him. Yeah. I really am. He's done a great thing.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But 2 years after that, I guess, West Florida calls.
Yeah.
And you no-brainer to come take it?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was such a no-brainer at first. You know, I had to think about it because had some great things at Northview. And Northview will always be a special place. And really what made me even think about not taking it was the community and the people that I met at Northview. Listen, when you're a teacher at Northview, you know every student. You don't just know the football players. You know all of them. You know all the teachers. I think you have a really tight relationship with teachers. Parents are really tight because it's just a tight-knit community. Right. I can tell you in 4 years I learned almost everything that goes on in that community. And, you know, pastors, churches, everything. Store owners, the store owner, you know, a mile from our school. And you learn all that stuff. And makes it hard because it's just a special place. You can't really tell people, explain it all the way. It's hard to leave that when you got that bond. But I also know that West Florida is a great school and a great atmosphere and has good football history here in Pensacola. And I had been here, and I'm one of those guys that likes familiar territory usually.
Yeah.
And I knew our administration here. I knew the athletic director, and that stuff screamed at me that this would be a great opportunity.
Right.
And so that's why I made the choice to come back. So.
Dude, let's take a break right here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I called you dude.
Yeah, no, you're good. You can do that.
Okay. So let's take a break right here,
Okay.
and we'll come back. We'll talk about this team.
Okay,
Cool.
good.
All right. Welcome back. Thank you to Faust Builders, McCory Homes, Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant for sponsoring these shows, sponsoring all my content, whether it be on X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the YouTube channel, which is where you're watching this at now. They help me kind of fulfill my need, which is to search for knowledge and see how sports and life can intersect. And this is a good guy, as we've talked about some of that already. But now let's talk about the ball club, because I think I had a good time watching your club. And before we get into them too much, you know what I like about your quarterback?
What's that?
It seems really simple.
Mm-hmm.
He hits what he throws it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
in high school football, not everybody does that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I watch games on Saturdays and Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always hit what they throw at.
That's right. That's
you know?
right.
And it's neat to have, it's got to be comfortable to have Xavier Finley a accurate thrower
Yes.
of the football.
Yeah, and I think that that was something that he wanted to prove. You know, whether
Yeah.
I was here or not, I think that was something he wanted to prove this year, is that he's just not a pocket passer. And I think he does a great job of that. He likes to. What I love about him is he keeps it simple, man. He really does. He keeps it simple. I'm going to go do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do really well. I don't have to go above what they need me to do, and I'm not falling below what they need me to do. But he hits it nail on the head. I think you saw something in that.
Right.
That's kind of how he is.
And he does what's asked of him.
That's right. That's right. To his fullest potential, man. He's a great leader.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's a great leader.
Well, if your quarterback, if the guy you depend on most is doing exactly what he's told to do, and if when things go bad, he is supportive, and when things go good, he is complimentary, that filters through the program.
Oh, it helps. Man, it helps the head coach a lot. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, people listen to you because he tells them to.
That's right.
By his actions.
That's right.
Way more
That's
important
right.
than his words.
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And he has a great relationship. You know, Jeremy Greenwell's our quarterbacks coach, and we've brought Finley up, even up on some Sunday meetings. And man, you know, them two working together, I think it's an awesome thing. I really do.
Right.
It's
Now, was he already here?
Who's that, Jeremy?
The quarterback coach?
Jeremy was with me at Northview, so he made the track down here.
You had a good quarterback there, too.
We did. Cade Nodum.
Yeah,
Cade Nodum did a great job up there. So, and I think you know, Jeremy's really good at connecting with kids on that level,
Right.
and talking that. And I think he's really good when he sits across from a kid. The kid gets him, and he gets the kid. So,
That goes back to teaching.
yeah. He's a great teacher.
Yeah.
Man, he starts off small, and that's probably why that's something that I've learned from Jeremy is kind of how we organize our practices. We start off really small, like an indie group, and then we go to a pod, and then we go to a group, and then we end on a team. And team's probably the least part of that, you know, because you have to paint a picture. You start with the little elements, and so.
So indie group, that's like the quarterback position.
Right.
So it's like maybe four
Yeah.
guys that play quarterback, and then the
Yeah.
pod is the offense.
Right, well, yeah, a pod is like the running backs, quarterbacks.
Okay.
So and then the linemen are separate still.
Yeah.
You know, and receivers are probably still separate. They may be in the pod, they may not.
Right.
Just depending on the day.
Charles Benson played. Now at Northview, you had guys that played both a lot.
Yeah.
And you have a little bit of that here. He's one of the guys, but he's one of the better guys with the ball in his hand in the area, don't you think?
Yes. Oh, for sure. And funny story, when I got here, I made everybody one way. They hated it. They absolutely hated it. But I felt like we were playing too many guys last year, both ways, and so I put everybody singular. And that's kind of what I told the coaches is, hey, the guys we need to play both ways will make it apparent. Well,
Right.
They're going to show themselves.
Yeah.
And Benson, as you can tell,
Yeah.
is one of those guys.
Right.
I mean, you just think about last week. I think he had 3 touchdowns. He tipped a ball on defense and picked it himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yes, he is. He's an awesome guy, but he's special to have that in that backfield. And him along with the entire team, the characteristic about this team is they're getting better every week, and that's scary for other teams.
Right.
It's great for me, and I told him that, man, don't take a step back. Let's keep moving ahead. And I told him, man, last week y'all shocked me, truthfully.
Right.
And because we gained a lot of ground last week.
Right. Well, tell me, you got a lot of offensive linemen, and how are they coming into their own?
Oh man, doing a great job. Yeah, I think we got like 10 active that we can play at any time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is
At this level.
I think that's unique.
Yeah.
I haven't been at a big school in a while, but I'm finding that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
And we work about 7 out of the 10 regularly. But that unit, man, they're headed up by Coach Gardner, and it's a tight-knit community. I mean, not tight-knit family. Just do special things. It's a typical offensive line. Those guys, they're on their own, but they take a pride in that. They take a pride in being that offensive line. And it is senior heavy. We've got some young guys, but the good thing is like the bottom 5 or 6 are young guys. They're going to be returning, but they've learned under those seniors about what offensive line is like. And so that's good.
It's so helpful if you're not. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome if a guy was a 3-year starter.
Right.
It's
Right,
cool.
right.
Especially
Yes.
if he gets to say it. Yeah, I was a 3-year starter.
Yeah.
That sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
But if you can sit and watch and learn, and you don't go into the weight room sore, as an offensive lineman, that's so much more helpful than people realize.
Oh, it is.
You know, to be able to gain strength as the season goes on, and to learn and to see the adversities and the things that happen good for you.
Yeah.
And be able to kind of monitor how those things work. I know everybody wants to play all the time, but it's neat when you don't have to do that. Who's your offensive coordinator?
Offensive coordinator is Justin Proctor.
Okay.
Yeah. And he coaches the tight end wings, and they kind of join in with that offensive line too.
Right.
But yeah, man, they're a special group, and probably headed by Waylon Whitaker's that 3-year starter that you're talking about.
Right.
But there's some other guys too, senior guys that have stepped up, and the other thing, what you were talking about with the young guys learning and not having to be sore. I think it's a technique position. A lot of people don't think about that, but it's one of the most technique positions that you have on a football field.
Right.
And I think those young guys are learning that, just watching those older guys, then they're getting in a little bit too. So.
Well, and technique is the kind of thing where if you're not strong enough for the guy in front of you, you lose your technique, right?
Right.
Because you start trying to cheat to get
That's right.
leverage and things like that. But
That's right.
as you grow into your body and the technique becomes second nature, you don't fall out of the things that are part. Now, are you the defensive coordinator, or do you have?
No, Coach Nemeth, Coach Chris Nemeth is our defensive coordinator. Yeah. And I'm a defensive guy, so I'm over there with him. But yeah, he's the defensive coordinator. He's calling shots, doing a great job, man.
Right.
I think we're probably top in the area for turnovers. I think we got like 7 or 8. So
Right.
they're doing a great job.
And so your staff, you're very happy with.
Oh, yes, and that to me, that's always a worry. Like, who's going to be on your staff when you get this job and things like that.
And if they do well, they leave you.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
You hope they do well.
That's right.
So you're almost like rooting for them to leave you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, it worked out really well. I had enough stay from Coach Lee's staff, and then I brought on some guys from Northview, and then some of them I had coached here before with me when I was here with Rhett.
Right.
And so it's kind of a mix of all three.
Right.
But somehow all those guys, there's a connection. So
sure,
it's awesome. It's great.
Well, you're a through line.
Yeah.
Every one of them knows you.
Yeah.
Somehow or another, right?
No, that's right. That's right.
And you have the experience here at West Florida, and then of course you bring the guys in. That's I think that what I'm noticing is because this year everybody's a first or second year coach.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Except for your brother and
true.
Bennett.
Right.
And and you can see like they all have, if they do a good job, they have holdovers.
Right.
They have people they brought with them.
Right.
Because my system matters, but somebody needs to know these people, and the kids need to know on day one somebody still cares.
Right. No, that's right.
right?
That's exactly
and,
right.
And then my staff that I brought in with me, they'll prove to you care over time. But I can't prove to you.
That's right.
I care.
That's right. When
at
you first
hello.
get there, everything's in one ear and out the other with the kids. So you got to have that holdover.
Right. That whole you had me at hello, that's all baloney.
Yeah. You got. I mean, you've got to have some of those coaches that have been in the tough times with the kids.
Right.
And Chris Nemeth, Coach Dampson, Coach Gardner.
Right.
Those guys were here with them.
Right.
And I can't say enough about those guys because they've told those kids, and they didn't have to do this, but they've told those kids, hey, Coach Summerford is trying. He's doing the right things, and they kind of took a good side on that, and the kids bought in and stuff like that. So that's went wonderful.
Right.
I probably couldn't have done that well again. Truthfully, just
right.
getting those coaches to come with me and stuff like that.
Well, the same people wouldn't have been available.
Right.
Everything happens in a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
You just, this is what happened this time. The next time it won't be the same.
Yeah. And that's when you start thinking, hey, this was meant to be.
Right.
I made the right
Right.
decision. This was meant to be.
And to some degree, right, all of your lessons in life have led you to this point with this staff and in this community.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's right. I don't think I'd have it any other way, man. Big circle.
Yeah.
Because I was here before,
Right.
and coming back, and I was able to reconnect with some guys that I hadn't been around a long time, especially staff-wise. So
Right.
been
And it's a
awesome.
pleasure to work with somebody that you used to work with that was good.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Let's end it on that. Man.
Okay.
I know we're going to talk. We're going to do a little segment after this, but thank you so much for giving me your time.
Hey, I appreciate it. Always. Always.
Surrounded by Sports. Thank you again to Faust Builders, McCory Homes, Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant. Thank you to Wes Summerford and West Florida High School for allowing me to come in here and talk a little bit, allow me to come watch practice the other day and all that.
We
I
loved
appreciate
having
it.
you.
Oh,
Loved
man.
having you.
Great.
I appreciate it. Great
Great.
conversation, too.
I'll be there Friday.
Good deal.
All right.
Good deal.
Thank you for watching. Appreciate you now.